Test booklet, accounts, audit, cost accountancy, business mathematics and statistics, and basic knowledge in computer application. Second paper, Tirpura Audit and Account Service 2022, TPSC. Number one question: Central Government Accounts Receipt and Payments Rules 1983 come into force on. Answer is this one. B. 1st June 1983. 1st June 1983. Second, the powers and duties of Controller and Auditor General of India for audit of autonomous bodies are derived from Article 149. This is the correct answer. Next, third, public account in the government accounting system broadly captures the transactions relating to debt, deposits, advance and remittance, and answer suspense, yes, and suspense account. Detailed appropriation audit is conducted in two stages. Number one, sanction audit, that is the audit of orders of allotment of funds and reappropriation which are to be enforced in audit, and audit of expenditure against allotment. Audit of expenditure against allotment, this one, C. Audit of expenditure against allotment. Sanction audit, that is a audit of orders of allotment of funds and reappropriation which are to be enforced in audit, and audit of expenditure against allotment. Number 5, is state government has made a separate agreement with the Bank of India, State Bank of India, Reserve Bank, with the Reserve Bank of India, by virtue of which general banking business of the government, in which business is include the receipt, collection, payment and remittance of money on behalf of the government, is carried on and transacted by Reserve Bank of India. None of the given option. Number 6, government departments engaged in manufacturing activities maintains inventories to support their activities. The accounting methods includes two sets of accounts, namely, number 1 is this one, numerical accounts, and number 2 is price accounts. Government department engaged in manufacturing activities maintain inventories to support their activities. The accounting methods include two sets of accounts, namely, number 1, numerical accounts, and number 2, price accounts. Number 7, under section 13B, yes, Controller Auditor General, yes, 13B. Under section 13B of the Controller and Auditor General, Duties and Power and Conditions of Service Act 1971, the Controller and Auditor General is responsible for audit of all transactions of the Union and the states relating to contingency fund and public fund accounts. Serial number 8. In regard to directions which are of a financial or quasi-financial characters issued by President to a state, the Controller and Auditor has a right to was in audit their due option dash and bring to notice any cases in which he considered that they have been infringed. In regard to directions which are of a financial or quasi-financial characters issued by President to a state, the Controller, Auditor and General has a right to was in audit their due compliance. Sure. Answer is A. Answer is A. Compliance. Serial number 9. In part 2 contingency fund under government accounting structure, how many major heads are operated? Only one. Answer is only one. Serial number 10. A subordinate authority shall afford all reasonable facilities to the audit officer and pay an account officer for the discharge of his functions and furnish fullest possible information required by him for the preparation of any official account or report. This covers under Rule 39. Rule 39. Under Rule 39 of GFR 2017. Serial number 11. Serial number 11. There exists a number of reserve and reserve funds in the deposit sections of the accounts of the Government of India and states which have been created B for specific and well-defined purposes. For specific and well-defined purposes. Answer is B. There exists a number of reserve and reserve funds in the deposit section of the accounts of the Government of India and the states which have been created for specific and well-defined purposes. Next, serial number 12. State transaction is central treasuries as classified under 8658 suspense account civil. State treasuries in central treasuries are classified under 8658. This is the answer. Serial number 13. Guidelines for form and custody of receipt books under the Receipt and Payment Rules 1983 are covered under Rule 22. Under Rule 22. Guidelines for form and custody of receipt books under the Receipt and Payments Rules 1983 are covered under Rule 22. 14. Serial number 14. Revised classification of government transactions were given effect from 1974-75 by the Union State and Union Territory governments. Revised classification of government transactions were given effect from 1974-75 by the Union State and Union Territory governments. Serial number 15. Transactions appearing in the books of an accounts officer in a ministry, department of the central government, including railway, defense, post and telecommunications, which are adjustable in the books of an accounts officer of another ministry, department, shall be passed on the to the letter for adjustment and settled by second bank draft. Transactions appearing in the books of an accounts officer in a ministry, department of the central government, including railway, defense, post and telecommunications, which are adjustable in the books of an accounts officer of any another ministry, department, shall be passed on to the letter for adjustment and settled by check or bank draft. 16. Serial number 16. The cash balance of central government maintained in books of the Controller General Accounts. Controller General of Accounts at the close of each month, it will be reconciled with the statement of closing each balance received from the central account section of the Reserve Bank. Controller General of Accounts. Controller serial number 21. In processing the review, the following steps is not required. Discussion on feasibility with the administrative department. This is the answer. Serial number 22. In relation to audit of expenditure against irregularity, it is the duty of audit to examine all financial rules and orders affecting expenditure and other transactions issued by the executive authorities. To see that the audit of transactions which they govern may be effectively conducted against them. Serial number 23. According to the Receipt and Payment Rules 1983, a bill register should be maintained by all head of office who are authorized to draw money on bill signed by them. In GAR 9, GAR9. A bill of register GAR9. Serial number 24. The power to sanction expenditure from the consolidated fund of a state and the contingency fund of a state, if such a fund is established in any state, is vested by Article 166(3) of the Constitution in the governor of the state. Serial number 25. A single tender is not permissible in which of the following case or cases? Option A. It is in the knowledge of the user department that only a particular firm is the manufacturer of the required goods. Option B. In a case of emergency, the required goods are necessarily to be purchased from a particular sources and the reason of such decision is to be recorded and approval of competent authority obtained. For standardization of machinery spare parts to be compatible to the existing sets of required equipment on the device of a competent technical expert and approved by the competent authority, the required item is to be purchased only from a selected firm. Permissible in all of the above cases. Answer is permissible all of the above cases. Serial number 26. The primary function of audit is to verify that accuracy and completeness of accounts, to secure that all revenue and receipts collected are brought to account under the proper head, that all expenditure and disbursement are authorized, vouched and correctly classified. Serial number 27. Government corporations are governed by respective acts and legislation which contain detailed provisions regarding their scope and functions, etc. Serial number 28. The Indian Audit and Accounts Department is entitled to receive a copy of an order sanctioning expenditure. The procedure of communicating such sanctions of audit is determined by the rules of business of the government concerned. Serial number 29. It is the first principle of government audit is to recognize the clear distinction between auditorial and administrative functions. Serial number 30. According to GFR 2017, if the contents of any file are categorized as secret or top secret, the file may be sent personally to the head of the audit office, specifying this fact, who will then deal with it in accordance with the standing instruction for handling and custody of such classified documents. Serial number 31. Receipt on charges pertaining to more than one head of accounts may be booked in the first instance under one of the heads concerned, but the provisions creditable or debitable to the other head or heads involved should be transferred from former head to the latter. Before the accounts of the year are closed. Before the accounts year are closed. Serial number 32. Day of death of an official on extraordinary leave, EL on medical ground, to be treated as a part of leave. 33. Cash balance held in a single state treasury form part of the consolidated fund, yes. Contingency fund, yes. The public account of state which the treasury belongs. Answer is C. Serial number 34. Ordinarily in revenue audit, audit will see that the internal procedures adequately secures correct and regulating accounting of demands, collections and funds, that no amounts are due to government are left outstanding on its book without sufficient reasons. Serial number 35. Service as an apprentice shall not qualify for calculations of qualifying service for pensions except in the case of SS apprentice in the Defense Accounts Department. Defense Accounts Department. Serial number 36. The public debt raised by government by issue of securities shall be damaged by the Reserve Bank of India. Audit of the autonomous body are regulated by section 14, 15 and 19 and 20 of the Controller and Auditor General Duties, Powers and Conditions of Service Act 1971. Serial number 38. If a pensioner who immediately before his retirement was a member of Central Service Group A wishes to accept any commercial employment before the expiry of 1 year from the date of his retirement, he shall obtain the provisions sanctions of the government to such acceptance. 39. The concept of efficiency cum performance audit or economy efficiency and effectiveness audit has accordingly been developed to meet the changing requirements and is applied to review effectiveness performance in terms of goals and objectives of a project or scheme. Serial number 40. Section 15. Section 15 of the DP Act 1971 describes the functions of the Controller Auditor General in the case of the grants or loans given to any body or authority for specified purposes. 41. Treasury officer shall not honor a claim which he considers to be disputable. He shall require the claimant to refer it to the Accountant General. Electronic reverse auction means an online real-time purchasing techniques utilized by the procuring entity to select the successful bid. Serial number 43. Major heads of accounts falling within the consolidated fund generally correspond to functions of government, such as different services like agriculture, defense provided by government. Next, 44. Under the Tripura State Goods and Service Tax Act 2017, appointed day means the date on which the provisions of this act shall come into force. The date on which the provisions of this act shall come into force. Serial number 45. Audit against regularity consists in verifying that the expenditure conforms to the relevant provisions of the Constitution and of the laws and rules made thereunder, and is also in accordance with the financial rules. 46. The government determines in consultation with the Controller and Auditor General as necessary the detailed forms in which the annual accounts and balances should be prepared by the government corporation. 47. Serial number 47. Joining time may be combined with vacation and or regular leave of any kind of duration except casual leave. 48. In public works, payment, intermediate payment does not include none of the given option. So what is the meaning of intermediate payment? Intermediate payment is a term applied to a disbursements of any kind on a running account not being the final payment. It includes an advance payment, a secured advance and on account payment other than final payment on a running account or a combination of these. Serial number 49. The auditors of government companies are reappointed by Company Law Department. The Company Law Department on the advice of the Controller and Auditor General, who makes his recommendation on the basis of their competence and performance. 50. Who is responsible for preparation of monthly civil accounts and yearly appropriation accounts and finance accounts of the state government. AGANE. AGANE. For more, you can see 51 to 100. So click the I button. Click here I button and otherwise check the description box.